man who cannot bury his past has already buried his future. That truth ends now. In the space of this next breath, you will learn the nature of the cut that severs yesterday and leaves only the stark, open path ahead. The mountain does not kneel to the memory of the storms it has endured. It stands, its face a testament to lightning, its spine a column of stone hardened by 1,000 winters. It wears its history not as a burden, but as its very substance. You too carry the marks of every season you have survived, the windburn of betrayal, the frostbite of a long-forgotten regret, the deep cracks where shame once tried to take root. And yet, here you are, still standing, still breathing. The untrained man looks at his past and sees a prison. He replays his failures on the cold stone walls of his mind, rattling the chains of what could have been. The warrior looks at his past and sees a forge. Every failure was a hammer strike, ringing against the steel of his soul. Every loss was a blast from the furnace, burning away what was weak. Every mistake was molten metal, beaten and folded and beaten again into something sharper, something harder, something more resilient than it was before. You are not the blade you once were, soft and untested. You are the blade that survived the fire. Look into your own reflection, not in a piece of glass, but in the still, dark water of your own mind. And ask yourself this question: am I carrying my past, or am I being carried by it? One is the weight of a warrior. The other is a death sentence. Miyamoto Musashi walked his path alone, not because the world had abandoned him, but because he refused to let the ghosts of yesterday slow his stride. He did not regret what he had done, not because his past was a flawless work of art, but because he understood that the path forward demands both hands be free. A swordsman with one hand chained to a memory cannot draw his blade, cannot parry, cannot cut clean. He is a man fighting two duels at once, one in front of him and one inside his own head. And a man divided will always be conquered. You must learn to move without dragging the corpses of your former selves behind you. Those mistakes you made, those moments of weakness, those failures, they are no longer living things. It is you who keeps them alive. You are the one who visits their graves, who lays flowers of guilt, who feeds them with your attention, your energy, your self-punishment. Stop. Let them starve. A great pine tree in the Japanese highlands, when a branch is broken by the weight of a heavy snow, will shed it. It will not try to tie it back on. It will not mourn its loss for seasons to come. It will let it fall to the earth, and from the slow decay of what was once a part of it, it will grow stronger, deeper roots. You must understand this in your own soul. You cannot rewrite a single step you have already taken, but you have absolute God-like control over the next one. The past is fixed stone. The present is your chisel. Most men stare backward at the stone, carving the same sad story over and over again, until the future they ignored finally crushes them. The warrior keeps his eyes fixed on the horizon, knowing that death itself is waiting there. He walks toward it without a flinch, without an apology, and without the dead weight of yesterday slowing his pace. Do not allow your greatest enemy to be a memory. Do not fight battles that have already been lost. There is a war happening right now in this moment for the man you will be when the sun sets on this day. Win that war and yesterday loses all power to touch you. But I will ask you again, and I want you to answer in the silence of your own heart. If you were to lay down the weight of every mistake you have ever made, who would you become tomorrow? You must understand this. The man who keeps looking over his shoulder will never see the strike that is coming from the front. The enemy of today will not wait for you to finish grieving the wounds of yesterday. Musashi faced countless duels. Some were over in a flash of steel. A single, perfect cut, the fight decided before the first step was even taken. Others dragged on for what felt like an eternity, testing his endurance, his focus, his will to live. But in all of them, he never allowed his opponent to see the shadow of hesitation, because hesitation is the scent of blood in the water. Your past mistakes are hunters. They wait in the brush of your mind, silent but always near, waiting for you to slow your step, for you to falter, so they can leap upon you. And each time you replay them, each time you speak of them, each time you kneel before them in guilt, you are feeding them. Stop feeding them. Starve them until they become nothing more than bones buried in the hard soil of your discipline. In the art of the yumi, the Japanese longbow, the archer draws the string and holds it, feeling the immense tension, waiting without a tremor for the single perfect breath when the arrow must fly. One thought too many, a flicker of doubt, a memory of a past miss, and the shot is lost. One thought too many and the fight is over. Pause here. Wherever you are, close your eyes. Breathe once deeply. Call to mind the single mistake you have been most afraid to let go of. The one whose ghost has the longest shadow. See it. But do not see it as a wound that is still bleeding. See it as a body on a battlefield you have already left behind. You have already survived it. Now do it the honor of leaving it where it fell. This is not an act of weakness or forgetfulness. This is an act of tactical survival. In the wild, the Japanese wolf hunts in silence. It never returns to a patch of ground it has already searched. It moves forward, always forward, because to linger is to starve. Your mind must learn to do the same. And here is a truth that most will not tell you. The discipline to let go is not a gentle act. It is not a soft, peaceful release. It is an act of violence against the part of you that has grown comfortable with the pain. It is cutting the rope without asking for permission. It is walking up to the altar you have built to your own regret and scattering the stones into the river. It is a declaration of war against the grip of the past. Musashi wrote of becoming acquainted with every art, not because art is a simple pastime, but because the path to mastery demands a mind that is completely unbound. The man who is chained to yesterday cannot learn the stroke of today's blade. He is too heavy. He is too slow. He is too full of noise to hear the subtle rhythm of the fight. If you choose to walk the warrior's path, you must make peace with this. Your past will never be clean. It will always have dirt beneath its nails and blood on its hands. But you are not bound to kneel and wash those hands for the rest of your life. The way forward is not to erase what happened, but to outgrow it. To move so far and so fast that the man you once were cannot even keep up with your shadow. A warrior does not sharpen his blade against the same stone forever. Once the edge has been honed, he seeks a harder stone, or he seeks a battle. You have honed yourself on the stones of your mistakes for long enough. If your edge is not sharp by now, it is not because the stone is wrong. It is because you are refusing to finally strike with it. Musashi's life was not a tale of flawless, perfect steps. He was a man who first killed at the age of 13. A man who slept rough in the dirt while others slept under warm roofs. A man who knew hunger, cold, loss, and deep shame. And yet, when he faced the final years of his life, alone in that cave, he faced them without bowing his head to the immense weight of all that had come before. He had already buried his past. And because he had done that, he was free to move as he wished. Swift as a hawk in its descent, unbound as a river breaking the winter's ice. Your freedom will not come when the past finally forgives you. It will come on the day you stop asking for its forgiveness. Look to the bamboo in the mountain wind. It bends when the storm pushes against it. It may bend so low that its leaves touch the ground. But when the wind dies, it stands straight again. It does not store the memory of its bending. It knows its shape, and it returns to that shape without shame or apology. You too must return to your shape, not the shape that was broken by the storm, but the new shape you have forged in its aftermath. The man you were cannot walk beside the man you are becoming. One of them must be left behind. This is the cut that you must make. Do not try to kill the memory. Kill the hold that it has on your hands. Do not bury the lesson. Bury the chain that it came with. And when you have done this, do not look back to see if it is still following you. It will be, for a while, a faint shadow on the edge of your vision. Let it fade. Keep walking. Because the path you walk now is not the path of who you were. It is the path of who you are willing to become. And the world will see the difference. It will see it in the way you carry your blade, the way you meet the eyes of the new day, the way you can stand in complete silence without a hint of apology. So I will leave you with this choice. When the past calls out your name, will you turn around or will you keep walking? When regret whispers in your ear, you must answer it with motion. When shame tries to drag you down, you must answer it with action. When fear rises up from an old wound, you must answer it with the cut, the decisive choice that breaks its hold. Begin each day with the strike you fear the most, so that the rest of the day must fight in your shadow. This is not some abstract philosophy. This is the way of the blade. Discipline is the simple act of keeping your own word when no one on earth is watching. It is saying no to the comforts that you know will dull your edge.